Kitchen, Banana Yoshimoto. Translated from the Japanese by Megan Backus. Kitchen. The place I like the best in this world is the kitchen. No matter where it is, no matter what kind. If it's a kitchen, if it's a place where they make food, it's fine with me. Ideally, it should be well broken in, lots of tea towels, dry and immaculate. White tile catching the light. Ding ding! I love even incredibly dirty kitchens to distraction. Vegetable droppings all over the floor. So dirty your slippers turn black on the bottom. Strangely, it's better if this kind of kitchen is large. I lean up against the silver door of a towering giant refrigerator, stocked with enough food to get through a winter. When I raise my eyes from the oil spattered gas burner and the rusty kitchen knife, outside the windows, stars are glittering, lonely. Now only the kitchen and I are left. It's just a little nicer than being all alone. When I'm dead worn out, in a reverie, I often think about when it comes time to die. I want to breathe my last in a kitchen. Whether it's cold and I'm all alone, or somebody's there and it's warm, I'll stare death fearlessly in the eye. If it's a kitchen, I'll think, how good. Before the Tanabe family took me in, I spent every night in the kitchen. After my grandmother died, I couldn't sleep. One morning at dawn, I trundled out of my room in search of comfort and found that the place I could sleep was beside the refrigerator. My parents, my name is Mikage Sakurai, both died when they were young. After that, my grandparents brought me up. I was going into junior high when my grandfather died. From then on, it was just my grandmother and me. When my grandmother died the other day, I was taken by surprise. My family had steadily decreased one by one as the years went by. But when it suddenly dawned on me that I was all alone, everything before my eyes seemed false. The fact that time continued to pass in the usual way in this apartment where I grew up, even though now I was here all alone, amazed me. It was total science fiction, the blackness of the cosmos. 3 days after the funeral, I was still in a daze, steeped in a sadness so great I could barely cry. Shuffling softly in gentle drowsiness, I pulled my futon into deathly silent, gleaming kitchen. Wrapped in the blanket, like Linus, I slept. The hum of the refrigerator kept me from thinking of my loneliness. There, the long night came on in perfect peace, and morning came. But I just wanted to sleep under the stars. I wanted to wake up in the morning light. Aside from that, I just drifted, listless. However, I couldn't exist like that. Reality is wonderful. I thought of the money my grandmother had left me, just enough. The place was too big, too expensive for one person. I had to look for another apartment. There was no way around it. I thumbed through the listings, but when I saw so many places all the same lined up like that, it made my head swim. Moving takes a lot of time and trouble. It takes energy. I had no strength. My joints ached from sleeping in the kitchen day and night. When I realized how much effort moving would require, I'd have to pull myself together and look at places, move my stuff, get a phone installed. I lay around instead, sleeping in despair. It was then that a miracle, a godsend, came calling one afternoon. I remember it well. Ding dong! Suddenly, the doorbell rang. It was a somewhat cloudy spring afternoon. I was intently involved in tying up old magazines with string while glancing at the apartment listings with half an eye but no interest, wondering how I was going to move. Fluttered, looking like I'd just gotten out of bed, I ran out and without thinking undid the latch and opened the door. Thank God it wasn't a rubber. There stood Yuichi Tanabe. "Thank you for your help the other day," I said. He was a nice young man, a year younger than me, who had helped out a lot at the funeral. I think he'd said he went to the same university I did. I was taking time off. "Not at all," he said. "Did you decide on a place to live yet?" "Not even close," I smiled. "I see." "Would you like to come in for some tea?" "No, I'm on my way somewhere and I'm kind of in a hurry." He grinned. "I just dropped by to ask you something. I was talking to my mother, and we were thinking you ought to come to our house for a while." "Huh?" I said. "In any case, why don't you come over tonight around 7? Here's the directions."
Okay.
I said vacantly, taking the slip of paper. "All right then, good. Mom and I are both looking forward to your coming." His smile was so bright as he stood in my doorway that I zoomed in for a close up on his pupils. I couldn't take my eyes off him. I think I heard a spirit call my name.
Okay,
I said.
I'll be there.
Bad as it sounds, it was like I was possessed. His attitude was so totally cool, though. I felt I could trust him. In the black gloom before my eyes, as it always is in cases of bewitchment, I saw a straight road leading from me to him. He seemed to glow with white light. That was the effect he had on me. "Okay, see you later," he said, smiling, and left. Before my grandmother's funeral, I had barely known him. On the day itself, when Yuichi Tanabe showed up all of a sudden, I actually wondered if he had been her lover. His hands trembled as he lit the incense. His eyes were swollen from crying. When he saw my grandmother's picture on the altar, again his tears fell like rain. My first thought when I saw that was that my love for my own grandmother was nothing compared to this boy's, whoever he was. He looked that sad. Then, mopping his face with a handkerchief, he said, "Let me help you with something." After that, he helped me a lot.